This is Johnny Dosco. Stay tuned for another Score Sheet podcast. Holy Kadelka!
It's championship week for many fantasy leagues, and here's our final weekly fantasy football preview for the 2011 season. The Thursday night game this week has Houston visiting the Indianapolis Colts, winners of, one in a row for the first time this season. There will be no undefeated or winless teams in the NFL this season, and don't forget that most of the games this week are on Saturday, Christmas Eve day. All right, let's take a look now at some guys worthy of a starting nod. First up is Kansas City receiver Dwayne Bowe. The Chiefs find themselves, amazingly, still in the hunt for the AFC West title and have Kyle Orton now throwing the ball. While the Raiders' defense has given him trouble in the past, they have not been able to stop anyone in recent weeks. Look for Bowe to pick up plenty of receptions against the Raiders' secondary this week. Green Bay wideout Jordy Nelson was nearly held without a catch as the Chiefs shocked the Packers last week. It would be a big surprise if Nelson and the Packers didn't bounce back this week against the fading Bears. Running back Ryan Matthews has been a key reason why the San Diego Chargers have clawed their way back into the playoff hunt after a 6-game losing streak. Matthews is an excellent counterbalance for the passing game of the Chargers and should be good for another 100-plus yard performance at Detroit. Quarterback Matt Moore has been steady most of the season since taking over Miami's starting job. And if Miami is going to stay in the game against the New England Patriots, chances are the ball will be in the air a lot. Look for a solid performance from Moore. Finally, quarterback Michael Vick looks like he's back in form, and this week will face a Cowboys team that the Eagles blew out earlier this season. Vick's scrambling ability should be troublesome for the Dallas defense as the Eagles look to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. Now for a look at some of the guys you might want to sit down this week. Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger struggled against the 49ers Monday night as injuries have clearly hobbled him. But that's not necessarily the only reason to expect his numbers to be down this week. More likely, the Steelers just won't need much from their veteran leader to dismantle the St. Louis Rams. Running back Beanie Wells is also hampered with injuries and a little bit of a risky play as the Arizona Cardinals travel to Cincinnati to face a strong Bengals defense. This one is likely to be a low-scoring game without big offensive numbers on either side. So you might want to steer clear of Beanie Wells if you can. Quarterback Josh Freeman has been struggling for several weeks with a right shoulder injury, and it is clearly affecting his play. While he is listed as probable on the early injury report, keep your expectations low if you do have to go with Freeman this week. Wide receiver Michael Crabtree and the 49ers head up to Seattle in a key matchup for both teams this week. It seems as if San Francisco quarterback Alex Smith's concentration on avoiding turnovers is limiting Crabtree's looks down the field. So unless he takes a short pass for the distance or something, it will be tough to see 100 yards receiving out of Crabtree this week. And finally, running back Marshawn Lynch faces a tough matchup on the other side of the ball in that game as the 49ers defense still has not allowed a 100-yard rushing performance or rushing touchdown this season. Lynch has certainly been one of the hotter backs in the league recently, but he might be in a spot where you'd want to look at your other options here. And that's a wrap for this week and this season. Hopefully you had a great season of fantasy football fun and can now just sit back and enjoy the upcoming NFL playoffs.